And what else happened? Really? And you waited all this long? Ah, Robin. Hmm. You have no idea, it took me about it's an hour and 30 minutes that I've been trying to find the episode. I lost the channel where I usually watch my the Twilight Zone episodes, and I finally found it, so I'm saving the website and all that. I have no idea why I lost it, but I was this close to just bail and just, give up. But I finally got it, so I finished my. Oh no, I still have some ginger tea. Robin is here with me. Look at her. So let's finally get this done.
She's been alone for many years.
I love this breaking of the fourth wall while the other person is still in the back. This reminds me a lot of theater. This is something that you will commonly see in theater. I used to work in theater about 10 or 15 years ago. I used to work in theater. So this brings good memories. And you know that I love Serling's voice. So this kind of beginnings are always the kind of things that gets me from the Twilight Zone. Well, that's a big soup she's making. Oh, wow. Oh, man. Wow. My goodness. Like, imagine finding something like that in your roof. Like, just after the noise and all, how afraid this woman is, because she's been afraid for the past 6 minutes. And now she sees this thing. Oh my gosh. Are they tiny people? Please. Let those be tiny people. Goodness, they're tiny. You just killed someone. Is it hurting her? You should really look on the floor, because you just dropped a guy there. And you don't know if that thing can actually protect him from high altitudes or something. But what is that? I couldn't see what... Man, that's one crazy night for this lady. What's with those things? I thought these guys were in peace. Well, no, they are invaders. But sometimes it means a completely different thing when it's the Twilight Zone. It sounds like Morse code. Do aliens use Morse code? Oh God, how much terror it must be. I'm expecting it to jump out of somewhere and start beating her or something. The candle! It's okay, you had a fire next to you. Gosh. Oh my gosh, ah! No! Just go away, set the place on fire. Just don't mind, you'll find a place. No, just run away. Oh my gosh, just move. Ah, this is so House of Wax. Oh gosh, no. She's hurt. And she was already defenseless, and now she's hurt. Oh, no, are you kidding? Just... Beat it. No, with your bare hands, use something else. Put the other one on the fire. Stop it! Yes! Very good. Yes. Oh, that felt so Jon Snow against Ramsay Bolton. Put it in the fire. Yes. Are you kidding? Oh my goodness, no! Ah, that thing, can you just... This is just so not good for my nerves. It's just you and him, honey. Get him. Are you kidding? Are you going back up? Don't go back up! Oh, he's leaving. Just let him go. What are you doing? Now you have them stuck with you forever.
Come in, Central Control. Do you read me?
Speak in English.
Is dead. Dear race of giants. No Central Control.
It's like
No counterattack.
Gulliver?
Repeat.
She wrecked that ship. Whoa, whoa, but what? How? How are they tiny? Do we have an alternative US that is tiny? How is please. Now, is the Air Force really going to be using like flying saucers like that? Just
The question marks that sparkle and beckon from the vastness of
oh,
the
she's
universe
always been a
only
giant
to
to
be
us. Oh gosh. Okay. This episode is probably right now one of my top favorites so far. Absolute silence. This is probably one of the best things about it. It's absolute silence. We only get to hear a bit of her whining and probably a bit of shouting. Of course, we kind of see this like these are aliens because of the flying saucer. I really do not believe that in any moment did the US Air Force believe to make a flying saucer as our flying device. But okay, I loved it. I love the idea that from the very beginning we are led to believe that these are aliens, tiny aliens. The suit kind of looked suspicious at first, but then I have to say it didn't look human, like because of the movements and all that. But then we have to understand that they are in a completely different atmosphere, so probably they will behave differently. This is many years before the Man on the Moon, so obviously, there's still things that they didn't know back then. I love the idea that this episode is only about, survival, about facing, one of the most terrible fears, which is to be invaded in the safety of your own home. It's a woman, she is alone, she is vulnerable, she has no weapons. The best she can handle is an axe or a tomahawk, I don't know how you call it. She has no pets, nothing to warn her. From the very beginning, she was terrified, but she faced her fears to go and see what happened on the roof. Even though that there is no dialogue or there's no like there's no sound, for one, what I call it, the sounds that we hear, the environment sound effects at this point are very important, and I could see that they were like very calculated, and they play probably one of the most important characters here in this episode. It's about the sounds. The very few tools that she can manage, like the tomahawk, the spatula, and fire itself, they all come to her rescue. But the only things that we would have imagined that would be her aid, like the first three knives that we see in the wall, happen to be the weapon against her. So I just have to say that now that we think about it, if we're human and we go to a planet and we see that they are giants, me at least, I wouldn't go think, let's use one of her knives and kill her with it. Like at least I would believe that we would come in peace. we obviously are not coming in peace in this episode, because from the get-go we have this device that brings her, I don't know what, this kind of rash that happened on her skin. And then the other is also shooting with this kind of device, but we don't really get to see what it does to her, if it makes it worse, if it just makes her go into more pain. But we do know that it's harming her at some in some way or another. One of the first things that came to mind with this episode was Black Mirror Metalhead. Is it Metalhead? It's a black and white episode. Yeah, Metalhead, which is season 4, episode 6. This is basically the same story. It's a woman surviving against this sort of alien technology at this point. One by one, all of her peers start dying because of this kind of metal dog that is chasing them. And in the end, it's a battle, a one-on-one battle, her against this dog. Here it's pretty much the same. It's one woman alone, her wits against, this technology that seems to be much more advanced. Sterling said it very clearly at the beginning that progress has not touched that house. So this pretty much sets the idea about how much an alien planet this is. Okay, so now I'm reading a little bit about this episode on Wikipedia. And what I see here is that this pistol-like weapons, the device that I was talking about first, leave radiation burns on her skin. So that explains what are these rashes that she gets. Then they slash her ankle with a kitchen knife. Now this reminded me so much of House of Wax when they cut the back tendons of the, okay. She eventually destroys one, wrapping it in a blanket and beating it until it's still. Oh my god, this is probably one of the best. Like I said, this was so Jon Snow against Ramsay Bolton. That the voice that we hear is from the director Douglas Hayes, or Hayes, which is the last survivor. One of the things that I wanted to pinpoint at the beginning was that the music was amazing. It was only made by strings, by violins, and here now I'm saying that Jerry Goldsmith actually wrote the music for this episode, so this makes it even better. Now about the actress, she was amazing all the time. She kept me on the edge of my seat, because we could see that she's terrified. We can see that she has absolutely no idea what is going on, but she has to face it because they are in her house and she has to protect her house. So obviously she's gonna do whatever it takes to get rid of some invaders. We might be tiny, but we are lethal and we are clever and we go for kitchen knives to slash somebody's feet. Ugh. I think that I should have kind of seen this coming from the very beginning because of the Morse code, and I actually pointed it out, but it didn't come to my head at first, and you saw that I was actually rejecting the idea. I even saw that it was like the Air Force, and I started questioning why a flying saucer. But the Morse code from the beginning should have told me that this was the human race, because we have Morse code. So yeah, I didn't see it coming. It was right in my face. I have to admit, I was a little more drawn into, the this sense of alarm, and that she's afraid that she wants to get rid of these things, and we want her to get rid of those things. We are rooting for her to kill our kind. So this kind of plays with our brains for a bit, don't you think? How many things can I think about this episode? Well, of course, Predator 1 and 2 are basically this one person surviving with whatever surrounding things we get to protect ourselves from an alien species. This is also Star Trek Arena. Yes, I get Arena from here, where both opponents have to use whatever is in their environment in order to survive a fight. This also reminds me of The Grey with Liam Neeson. I am not sure if this episode is also a criticism of human being about how we just start fights for no reason, that this culture of conquest defines a lot about how human beings are, and that in the future we're gonna continue doing like that, like, you know, kill first and ask questions later, like these two invaders did. Well, that was it for today. Thank you again for joining me in this episode. Next episode will be It's a Good Life, which is season 3, episode 8. Thank you again for joining me. I'll see you in the next one. Take care and bye bye.